Hello, everyone. I am Maddox Brown, New England MMA News, and I'm here with Tom Pagliarulo. How you doing, Tom?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on the show. Since you're new to the show, we're gonna start with how you got into the sport of MMA. So, how did you get into the sport?
Yeah, pretty much just from a wrestling background. I started wrestling in elementary school, did it all the way to college, like my sophomore year. I think it was my right after senior year of high school. I had a buddy who was fighting, who was looking for some help, getting ready for his fight. So I went in to help him out with just some wrestling and then realized this is kind of fun. I like it. It's a new way to compete. So I kind of just fell in love with it. I started training full time, right around then. That was like 2016, middle of 2016. So yeah, pretty much just through wrestling and just my love for competition.
How did you find the gym you currently train at?
Yeah, so I'm with the New England Cartel right now. So that kind of came about in 2019 is when I started with them. I was getting ready for my first amateur title fight. I had a tough undefeated opponent. I kind of just wanted to like really make sure I had all my boxes checked. So I hit up Rob Font. He had just moved to Haverhill, which is where I'm from. And I asked him if he was around for some private lessons. So we kind of just started with that. And I was working with him like almost every day, and he kind of just took over for me, kind of like a head coach during that time. And then he brought me around like Calvin and Tyson and Nick Fiore, and it was just kind of the four of us, five of us, and started like that for a while. So I got in there through Rob, and now we've kind of just grown into what we are now.
So, now we're gonna get into your upcoming fight. You're fighting Don Shanis at Cage Titans 69 for the Cage Titans featherweight title. Can you give us your thoughts on this fight and how you see it playing out for you?
Sure, yeah. I like it. I like the fight. Um, my manager came to me and said we got this fight on this date, and I said okay. I don't really ask for fights. I hired a manager for a reason, and I trust him to just get me fights. So that's normally how it goes. He calls me, gives me a name and a day, and I say okay. So this time around, it happened to be Don, and it happened to be Cage Titans for the belt. Um, you know, the game plan is just obviously I'm going to hit him more than he hits me. I'm going to out grapple him where I got to out grapple him, and I'm just going to out fight him, man. I'm just going to be better, right? That's how winning's done. It's just be a better fighter. So that's how I see it going down. Is I'm just going to be the better fighter on that night, and like I said, man, I love competing. I'm gonna go in there and compete, and to the best of my ability. And I know that's going to be enough.
Have you seen any weaknesses in Don's game?
Um, I don't like study my opponents too much, as crazy as that sounds. I don't like to obsess over them or like really. I feel like when you start doing that, it's like you play to their strengths and you forget about like worrying about your strengths. I think this one's pretty straightforward. He's gonna try and wrestle me. Everyone knows that, and I'm gonna try and knock him out. And everyone knows that. So I think my strength is obviously on the feet if you looked at both of us, and his would be like the striker versus grappler type thing. But I can grapple too. I'm really good at grappling. People haven't really seen it yet. I'm really good at wrestling. Like I said, I've been doing it forever. So um, I think it would be a bad idea for him to try and stand and strike with me. But I know he's game. I know he's tough. He'll be there the whole time. But I'm just gonna be there too.
What do you think will be your keys to victory in this fight?
Yeah, like I said, hitting him more than he hits me, and just out positioning him everywhere. I think I'm tall for this weight. Everyone knows that. I definitely got the height and the reach. Stay at my length. Pretty simple, man. Stay at length. Hit him with straight shots. And just like I said, I'll position him everywhere. I know he's going to be diving on my legs, shooting for me. I welcome it. I love wrestling. I love grappling. Those are the fights. You look at all my amateur fights before I started knocking people out. I was the one taking people down, smashing them on the ground. So I'm not new to that game. I'm pumped for it. I welcome the wrestling. So let's do it there too.
Who are going to be some of your key training partners in this camp?
I got a lot, man. I try not to stress too much again on like having the perfect body type or like the perfect style of the match. A lot of it's just again, who can I go and force what I want to do in this fight on in my training. I've already started with Carlos Lazoya. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's the Combat FC bantamweight champ. Hell of a wrestler. I got him giving me good look. Mitch Raposo. Just those two guys more for like the size and the height. Obviously Rob Font. I've been getting my rounds in with him. Nick Fiore, he's a hell of a grappler. He's the Combat Zone lightweight champ. Um, Yeah, that's like my main group right there for like that I want to focus on with this fight. And then obviously I got Connor Matthews in the gym with me all the time. Just a killer room, man. Just everyone trying to beat me up, hold me against the wall, trying to hold me on the ground, all those guys. So I'm gonna be ready, man.
What do you think this fight will do for your career moving forward?
Yeah. Again, and I know my answer is gonna be kind of annoying and boring, but it's like I'm very set on what my task is. My task is January 25th and winning this fight and preparing for that fight. I hear so many people talking about like even him when he called me out, it was UFC this, UFC that. It's like I'm not even thinking that, man. I could care less about that right now. I just care about January 25th. It's one fight at a time. I just love to compete. I'm going to compete in January 25th. And whatever happens, I'm going to go compete again. And obviously, win here, who knows? It could be something big. It could be I'm just fighting on the regional scene still. I don't care. I'm just gonna compete, and right now I'm just focused on preparing for January 25th.
How do you think all of your past fights have helped you prepare for this fight?
Yeah, I think I've had a good gradual like rise to competition. Like I said, I don't ask for certain fights. I just accept what my manager gives me, and he's kind of just given me some good tests. I've taken some hard tests early on. I've taken some tougher tests recently. I've lost before. I think that's important. Um, I've shown I can compete with a high level of guys, and sometimes I just came up short. But I'm not like I feel like guys are afraid to lose, so they're afraid to take these tough fights. That's not me. Like I said, my love for this is to compete, and I'll say yes when the call comes to someone like Don or a UFC vet like that. So I think like I've fought some hard wrestlers before, some hard grapplers, guys who push a pace, great cardio. This is nothing new to me, man. So I think my gradual rise in competition is definitely prepared me for this.
Do you have one final message to Don Shanis before you guys get locked into the cage together?
Nah, man, I got nothing for that, dude. Like I said, I'm focused on me. I'm focused on training. I hope everyone's excited for the fight. I know I am. If you haven't, I know the tickets aren't on sale yet, but when they are, message me, get your tickets from me, get your tickets from them. I don't really care. Just be there. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I'm excited for it. Let's do it.
For any new fans at the Plymouth Memorial Hall, what should they expect from you on January 25th?
Action. I think I'm a people who don't know me, the people who do know me know I'm like a fan favorite just because I'm never in a boring fight, man. I'm not gonna just like fight to win. Like I'm always action. I'm always trying to score. I'm always trying to hurt someone. I think I'm one of the more exciting fighters in New England. My striking's fun, my wrestling's fun, my grappling's fun. Like I'm gonna bring it. So they're in for a treat.
So now we're gonna get to my last couple questions. Can you share the most memorable moment of your MMA career so far?
Yeah, sure. Probably my professional debut would be like my most memorable like fight experience. Just because the circumstances, COVID had just happened. I hadn't fought in like a year and a half. I thought I was gonna have more amateur fights, but it was just like nothing was going on. I was just training with Calvin, like helping him get ready for his fights because they were still happening in the UFC. And then on like a Sunday, I got a call to fight for Cage Fury on like a Thursday against like their hometown kid whose opponent had fallen through. He was like from Sean Brady's gym, all those guys. So that guy was cornering him and stuff. So it was cool. It felt like a big time fight. I went in there and put a pretty good beating on this kid. And I had Rob and Calvin and Tyson out there with me. We drove to Philadelphia, beat this kid up. And I remember just being in the elevator with them after and just being like, man, like I just got paid to do this. Like this is really cool now. Like I'm a professional athlete now. And it was just having my team out there and like fully supporting me and having guys who are at that high of a level, like go that all in on me. Like, yeah, we're gonna drop everything we're doing and drive this kid to Philadelphia and go win a fight with him. Like that was really cool for me. So I think that's one of the more special moments I've had in my MMA career, but I know I got a lot more to come.
If you could compare yourself to any animal, what animal would it be and why?
Man, any animal. Huh. That's a good one. I feel like I'm like a gazelle, man. I got like these long legs. I can run for a long time. I'm not like a sprinter, but I can just run for a long time and not get tired. So I feel like I've heard people call me like a gazelle before when they see me running. So we'll go with that one.
If you could fight anyone in the world, past or present, who would it be and why?
Hmm, that's a good one. Who would I fight? We all have like dream fights in the UFC, like stylistically. Like I've always kind of thought I love Max Holloway. He's like my favorite fighter ever. I love him as a person. I think he's just like a good dude. But it's also like it would just be fun to get in there with a guy like long and lanky like me and throw down with him. But I think I like the dude too much to want to fight him. Um, Calvin Cater, man, I fight him. He's sick of that dude beating on me in the gym. I'm gonna get him back someday. So that's my answer to that. Calvin, I owe Calvin a beating.
So, who is one person from your gym you'd go into a zombie apocalypse with?
Nick Fiore, hands down. I don't even have to think about it. This kid's already planning for it. He's just like one of those kids who knows anything about everything. He's good with his hands. Like he can build stuff. He can, I don't know. Like that kid, I trust him in any situation like that. Nick Fiore, 100%.
Do you have any special shout outs to sponsors, supporters, and teammates before I let you go?
Sure. Yeah. Shout out to my team, number one, New England Cartel, and everyone who's just helping me prepare for this fight and has helped me get ready for all my fights. Those guys are very selfless. They're in the gym. All of us are in the gym, fights or no fights. Like we don't really do camps. We're just always kind of training and staying ready for these phone calls. So, super appreciative for them. My wife, she's super supportive of me. She's like the main reason I can even do this thing. I train full time. Pretty much shout out all my sponsors, shout out my wife, shout out my team, family, everyone who supports me. And yeah, that's it, man. January 25th. That's the focus. Let's do it.
All right, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.